Okay, we had a multiple cylinder misfire fault codes on this 2013 Carrera S. This is actually a really cool optioned out car. Has a manual transmission, which is rare these days. Normally you see PDKs. So we have our Porsche computer hooked up. So these fuel trims were off by 1 point, negative to positive. As you can see now, they're idling very close to one another, which is where we need to be. And what was happening is it was setting misfire fault codes. We had P0300, which is multiple cylinder, and then we had cylinders 1 through 6. So we went ahead and checked out his spark plugs, and we actually bore scoped the vehicle. And here's what we pulled out. These were fairly new, but they were replaced 4 years ago, so it's time or miles. But what everybody tends to overlook is coils. As time goes by, just like spark plugs will corrode, and that's why Porsche has you replace them every 4 years. Same thing goes for the coils. The coil inside is a very sophisticated coil. It has knock sensors that are built in, so these coils will wear just like spark plugs. So we were having rich cylinder 4 through 6, which are these coils here, and lean, well, kind of normal. So what was happening is every time these cars have a problem, the engine will flop to try to compensate and balance out the runnability issue. And here's our spark plugs right here. So we have, let's see here. This here is our lean side, as you can see, pretty white. And then I'm gonna pull these out right here. These are our rich side. You can see by the color of the plugs. So that was the issue. The issue was coils. Simple maintenance that should be performed when you do your spark plugs. It's probably a good idea. We put coils in all our 911s when we do the spark plugs if they're over 5 years old. Of course, they're not all that simple, but because we read the data and we determined what it was and where it needs to be, we right away knew how to isolate the problem. And of course we use all genuine Porsche stuff. So yep, and our RCATs are doing pretty good. Just a slight deviation, but that'll straighten out in a minute. This is bank 1 and 2. So then we just check all our other data before we ship this car. Of course we performed a handover, and that was a problem with this car. It's not the only issue with these. They suffer from high pressure fuel pump failures as well. It's not as common as some of the other problems they have. Obviously, old coils and spark plugs, but also we have problems with the PZO injectors and carbon buildup. Once they get a little bit of miles, they start to have issues. This one has some carbon on the valves. We were able to check them when we pulled the spark plugs out. We scoped all the cylinders just to make sure there's no cylinder scoring, and this engine passed. Pretty much removed everything just to check, and it had carbon buildup on the intake valves. Not really terrible, but something that will need to be addressed in close to 20,000 more miles. This one currently has 40,000 miles on it. Alright guys, if you own one of these 911s with a DFI, direct fuel injected engine, be sure to do your coils and your spark plugs at the same time, and then you'll avoid a shop visit the second time. So guys, thank you for watching the video. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.